Hello everyone, it's Anna from Viking Stitches. I believe this is my 7th floss tube. We'll see when I check later. Thank you for joining in. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're old. So I mentioned in my last episode that I was going to try and do a WIP parade for the end of December. Obviously that has not happened. I wanted to try and get it filmed before we left for Iceland, but I just ran out of time. So we're going to do it now. And maybe have a sort of 2023 look back. So I think this is going to be a bit of a big video, so I might kind of chop and change and do some like heavy editing, because otherwise I think I'm going to get myself all in a kerfuffle. But yes, so yeah, Happy New Year to everyone, everyone who celebrates. Yeah, I had a lovely time in Iceland for the most part. It was lovely seeing family. It was lovely, you know, exposing the kids to some more Icelandic culture. They're starting to pick up on a few more things with regards to the language and stuff. You may have spotted I have some new glasses. My mum finally convinced me to get some new glasses. I've had my old ones for probably over 10 years. But I'm quite happy with these. They were a birthday present from her, technically in January 2023, and we never kind of got around to sorting that out. So we finally did it. I finally have some new glasses, and I feel a lot better for that. You may be able to tell I have a bit of a cold, and by a bit of a cold, I mean I have COVID. Yay. Yeah, the last 4 or 5 days in Iceland, I had COVID and didn't realize it at first, and then at one point my mum had made a garlic sauce and I couldn't taste any garlic, and that was the point where it kind of tipped me off that like I might have COVID. But there was no way to get any, that was on New Year's Eve, there was no way to get any tests before we got on the flight, so I felt really bad, but like I just wore a mask, and I mean, as far as I'm aware, like they won't refund your flight or anything just for having COVID, so I had to get on that flight, and it was not comfortable either for me because it's all kind of in my ear and in my like sinuses and everything, so it was really painful flying, so that wasn't fun either. But I didn't really have any choice. I needed to get back to work. Kids needed to, well, my son needed to go back to school. His school started 2nd of January, which was a bit, yeah, anyway. But yeah, so, excuse me, I'm on the mend. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fun either. But yeah, so I think maybe let's just crack on with it. I thought I'd start with my finishes from 2023. And to start off with, I'm going to show you the kids' Christmas stockings, which are finally done. Fully done. They got used at Christmas. I was so happy. But I only got it done because I had both my mum and my aunt to help. Because, yeah, left it way too late as usual. So for those of you who haven't been following my channel, I've been doing cross stitch sort of off and on since I was like preteen probably, tween, whatever you call it. But it's just sort of off and on, and it wasn't like a whole thing like it is now for me. But I decided when I was on my 2nd maternity leave with my daughter that I was going to make Christmas stockings for the kids. So I started that, and that was in 2021 in the summer. So I started my son's one then. I did all the cross stitching and everything. That took me about 1.5 years to do cross stitching and everything. but not like making it into a stocking. So the Christmas 2022, so I kind of got it almost done with my mom. My mom came over for Christmas at that point. We kind of mostly got it done, but it wasn't fully done, so it didn't get used that year. Then January 2023, I got the same kit. It was a Dimensions kit. Got the same kit for my daughter, started that. Didn't really do much on it. I think I'd gotten to maybe 10% by May-ish. And then I decided that I was gonna bash it out and get all the cross stitch and everything done by the time my mum was gonna visit in August. She was arriving on the 1st of August. Because I wanted her help to do the final, turning it into a stocking. Sorry, I'm babbling. And I didn't quite manage to get it done before she came, but I managed to get it done before she left, which was mid-August. So I was quite pleased with that. I did like 90% of it in about 2 months, and it did almost kill me because I'm not a monogamous stitcher. But that, because I didn't get it quite done before she came, we kind of ran out of time. But we did so what we ended up doing in August was we like cut out the fabric and pinned everything together for my daughters, and then we actually ended up pulling apart my son's, and I'm trying to remember why we did that. Oh yes, because the liner, there was a liner like on the inside, but it was like a felt kind of thing, and it was really thick, and I didn't like it, and my mum didn't like it either, so we decided to just pull it apart, and we were going to use the fabric that we're using for the backing for the inner lining as well. So we got them both to the point where everything was cut out, pinned together, and just needed to be sewn together. But we got to that point at like 10 p.m. the night before my mom's flight. So we decided to just leave it there and we would finish it before Christmas. We said to each other, we'll finish doing it as soon as I come to Iceland. Do you think that happened? No. The evening of the 23rd is when we finally sat down and we were like, we have to bash this out, we have to get it done, because we opened presents on the 24th. 24th is a bit manic, and we've decided to stick to the English way with the stockings, because we don't do stockings in Iceland, but because my husband's English, so we decided we'd go with that English tradition. So it needed to be ready for the morning, well, evening of the 24th, really. So yeah, evening of the 23rd, I think we stayed up till like 1 a.m. to finish them, but they're done. So I'm not going to try and hide their names here. I'm just going to try and I'll like do some camera magic when I'm editing. But so here is my son's. That's it. I love it. Like the details on everything. It's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. And then we've got this fabric for him. So it's like, so you can see here, we've got the inside lining and this side, and it's all the same fabric. Whereas previously we had done, so in the kit there was like a felt fabric that was supposed to just be the back side of it, and I thought we could use it as the lining, because when my mom did stockings for us that were just decorative, it was like that. But yeah, it didn't work out, so we redid it. But yeah, it's come out really well. And then here's my daughter's as well. Exactly the same, except different name, obviously. Oh, and one other thing that I did, because this was the first time that I did French knots, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I made them really chunky. So by the time I got to these ones, I knew much better what I was doing. And actually, I think I did colonial knot. Yeah, I think these are colonial knots rather than French knots. Sorry for the sniffling, I apologize. And they were much daintier, and I much preferred it that way. So I pulled out all the French knots from his and redid them, which wasn't actually too bad. I did it in one evening, because there were like holes where the French knots had been, so it was quite easy to just follow that rather than having to pick out. Anyway, so yeah, that's the first, well, technically it's not the first finish, but yeah, that was the big one. And then the first finish that I did in about a month was this is an Emma Congdon, or she's also known as Stitchrovia on Etsy, pattern that I saw. It's a little saying, and I thought it suited my daughter perfectly. So I saw it and I was like, I have to do that one. I have to do it. So yeah, bashed it out in 1 month, and then I was going to frame it, and I still haven't framed it, which tracks for me. I need to do it. But yeah, so this is the piece. Though she be but little, she is fierce, and that is my daughter to a T. Knows exactly what she wants, will not let anyone tell her anything else. But yeah, I quite like that one. It was a nice stitch. Bashed it out in a month, which is really good for me. Yeah. So yeah, I just need to get that framed. Need to get that done soon before she's grown up. She's growing up far too quickly. The other finish I had, I don't have it with me because it was a present for my dad. I bought the pattern like 1.5 years ago, but I kind of decided that I was going to really go for it this year and finish it, and managed to finish it back in October, I think, somewhere around there. Got that done and actually framed it myself, which I was really pleased with. I got a frame from IKEA. It was kind of a square, kind of one of those frames that like there's like a bit of a gap, which worked out well. I did have to get is it called the mat, the like cardboard paper thing that goes around? So I had to get a new one of those, but I did find a website that was really good, where I could just specify the like exact dimensions that I wanted, and they made it for me, so I thought that was really good. And then I had like a foam square rectangle thing that I got from The Works, I think, which is not quite like a pound shop, you know, dollar store kind of thing, but it's fairly sort of affordable stuff. So I got a pack of, I think it was like 6 of those like little foam rectangles, cut that out to where I wanted it, and then I just like wove back and forth on the back, like put the cross stitch around it and then wove back and forth and pulled it tight. And I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll do. I'll stick a picture up here of it, framed. But yeah, so that's currently in Iceland. My dad hasn't actually received it as of yet, I don't think, because he wasn't in Iceland for Christmas. He went to Spain with his wife. So I thought that I would then go through my current WIPs. I have, I think, about 12 WIPs at the moment, maybe 13. Yeah, so I will go through, what I'm working on at the moment. Start with Midna. Midna is from Make It Pink, or she's also known as Pink the Pink on Instagram, I think. It's charted by her, from Hannah Alexander Artwork. Midna is a character from the Legend of Zelda video game franchise, but this has been done in a sort of Art Nouveau style. So she's very pretty. She's a very pretty lady. For those of you that haven't been following, I restarted her a couple months ago because I didn't like the fabric. I was doing her on 18 count gray dyed fabric, and the Make It Pink patterns have a lot of partial fractional stitches, and the 18 count wasn't really lending itself to that, so I decided to get the same fabric except in 36 count. Yeah, so I restarted her a couple months ago, which was a bit sad because I think I'd gotten in about is it 2000? No, I don't think it was, maybe it was 2000 roughly. It was about 2%, because I have got Cross Stitch Saga, and that's actually how I got into using Cross Stitch Saga, because Ashley Pink the Pink provides that if you like, because she's also got a Facebook group where people can discuss her patterns. And someone pointed me toward that, and honestly, I don't know how you do those patterns without that, because there's, as I said, there's lots of fractionals, there's beading, there's backstitch, there's all sorts of stuff, and Cross Stitch Saga, like, can account for all of that, which I'm not sure if there's any other app that does that, so I really recommend that app. If you can get, the main problem with it is that not all artists can supply an appropriate file, because you can't just upload a PDF, I guess because of the like nature of backstitch and that sort of thing. Anyway, right, Midna, let's keep on track. So I worked, she was a bit of a focus piece in December, so I got, I think, 1,300 stitches into her in December. That was due to some of the cross-stitch games I'm playing. There were some challenges where, well, there was one challenge where I had to, it was kind of a twofold one. They usually do like a monthly one, but the monthly one was split in two in December. So you could choose either to do 12 different pieces for 12 different days, or work on the same piece for 12 different days. Or if you did both, you got extra points. So I decided I was going to challenge myself and do both, and I did. And Midna was the piece that got chosen to be the one, but I also did her for the 12 different, so she kind of counted twice, but that meant 30, because it was, you had to do 100 stitches minimum per day for it to count. So I did 100 stitches a day for 12 days, and then I also did 100 stitches as part of the 12 pieces in 12 different days. So yeah, 1,300 stitches. I thought that was pretty good going, at least for me, it is. I know other people do loads of stitching, but I will put up here, okay, let's put here the full picture of what she will look like. Isn't she stunning? The background is so cool. I'll put in here who made the background, because that wasn't Pinky the Pink, that was someone on the group, and I can't remember what her Instagram user is at the moment, so I'll put that in here. And then I will put where it was last, so you can see that, and then you can see now how far I got. So I did quite a bit. I think this is like, her waist is like here, so this is part of her dress coming down here. As you can see, there's a lot of gray. It's a lot of gray. Gray on gray. What was I thinking? But yeah, I don't know if you can see some of the partial stitches, and there's lots of blends, and you can see kind of how she blends things, because this is just one color here, whereas like every other stitch, and it kind of fades out into the next color. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Got quite far with that. yeah, I did start using, I think it's called Stitch Pal, a month or two ago, and it shows me, it will show you like an estimation of when you will finish the piece, and you can adjust it to only count active days or elapsed days. So even if I only count active days, it will still take me until 2026 to finish this if I count elapsed days. When I started it in December, when I think I'd only done like 400 stitches. At that point, it was estimated that I would finish this in 2050. But I've managed to, with this focus, I've managed to get it down to like 2035. So kind of a win, I guess. But yeah, so that's where we're at with Midna. Made a good amount of progress. And away you go, Midna. Right, who shall we do next? Where are you? So next I'm going to do the Anne of Green Gables Sal from Sapphire Mountain Crafts. Also known as the Stitching Book Club. So yes, she did a sale in August for Anne of Green Gables, and I bought the kit for it, as it was, it came with fabric, and that was the first time I'd ever done anything like higher than 18 count. So I decided to try 28 count even weave, and actually found it pretty reasonable to do. Took me a while to get used to doing 202. Sorry, got cut off by a phone call. So yes, the Anne of Green Gables Sal, that's from the Stitching Book Club. That was my first 28 count even weave. I think I only stitched on this a little bit. Yeah, I think I only did like the 100. I'll stick here where I was last time. Well, actually, no. I'll stick how it will look like in full, so you can see that. And then and then I'll stick where I was last time. And then here we are where I am now. So yeah, I only did 100 stitches as per that challenge I talked about, and it was basically some of this blue here. Yeah, but I do love this pattern. I love the kind of like greens and pinks and stuff. It's really pretty. It's a really pretty pattern. And I had some delusions of grandeur that I was going to actually finish it on time, but no, I did not. No. Right, I'm back again. Like I mentioned, this is going to be filmed in chunks, so we're on a different day now, trying to get through a few more pieces. So the next one I'm going to talk about is I have a pattern that I had made with my son's name, and it has like construction vehicles. I won't be showing the whole thing, but you can see a little bit here. So that's a dump truck there. But yeah, I won't be showing the whole thing. I am about halfway through that. Yeah, but we won't be sharing more of that. Right, next project. Next project is my Mordor piece. I have a 3-piece set from, what is her name? Mia Stitch. Yeah, Mia Stitch. And it's Mordor, Shire, and Rivendell. So I started, so here's Mordor, the full piece. And this is where I was at last time. We talked. I started it in November. Used it for some of the challenges and got a load done, and I've done a little bit more now. So this is where we're at. Starting to get a bit more of the tower in there, a bit more of the red around, reddish brown. Yeah, I'll put up here how far I'm through it with it and everything. But yeah, so we're making progress on that. I also am starting, I'll explain a bit further later, but I'm going to be starting, excuse me, the Shire piece. So this is the Shire piece. I'll be starting that this month. So the next thing I was going to talk about is I started some of the Brooks Books Advent Animals at Christmas. Because of the way I was playing challenges, I didn't finish any of them, but they're quite small and quick to work, and I think I might take a note from Stitching Moon, where she used to do on the 25th of every month. I might do 24th rather than 25th, just because being Icelandic. But every 25th of the month she would work on a Christmas project, so that way she kept going with things throughout the year. And so the Brooks Books Advent Animals, they're freebies on her website. They are these ones. They're very cute. And so they're little Advent animals running all the way. So the ones I have started are Katie Kitty, Mary Mouse, and Duncan Dog. So I will get those out now. I'm doing these on a navy 28 count even weave. I don't know why I insist on doing dark fabrics, because it makes it a pain to try and see what I'm doing. So I think I've done 300 stitches on Kitty Cat. So here she is, looking slightly disturbing at the moment, but that's all right. We'll get there. I think these are only about 800 stitches each, roughly. Then we've got Mary Mouse. She is very disturbing at the moment. She kind of terrifies me at the moment, so I really need to get something more into her, because that's very terrifying. And then Duncan Dog, which I believe also has about 300 stitches in. So he's there. So yeah, and I've seen people do various things with him, like I think Stitching Moon does these as well. That's actually where I got the idea from. I saw them on her Flosstube. But I think she's just doing them in like one big piece. I know other people have turned them into like ornaments and stuff, and I saw some people had turned them into like little cushions to hang, so I think that's what I'm gonna do, because I really like that idea. But that's where we are with that. So the next piece I'm going to be sharing is called Cottage Glow. It's a lettuce stitch kit that I was gifted last year. It's my first time trying a lettuce stitch kit, and the first time it has anchor threads, which I'm not gotten very far into it, but it does seem to be quite nice. It comes in these little, everything's already threaded on here, and then you have the little, where is it, where have I started? Here. So you can sort of, when you've got extra bits, you can hang that on there, so that's quite nice. One thing I will say is that it only comes with a paper pattern, so if you're someone like me that likes using the apps, like I contacted them and they said that they don't do PDFs whatsoever. So what I ended up doing, I decided that I was going to try and get into markup. I think I may have talked about this actually, but anyways, I'm going to repeat it. So I tried taking a picture to put it into markup, but it didn't work very well, and someone recommended scanning it. So I went to my local library, scanned it, and then I was able to upload it from there into the markup app. I still had some problems with it, and the Facebook group for markup is really responsive, and they were really helpful. And in the end, when I still was having some troubles, I think his name is James, who's like the founder. He asked me to just send him the file. He had a look through it, and he was able to fix it all for me and send it back, and it works perfectly now. So I'm only 100 stitches in, because this is one of the patterns that I was using for my work on 12 stitches in 12 days. So I've done 100 stitches, and this is where I'm at. Not far. Only got a few bits in, and I think this is the little, it's here, this bit, I believe, or it might be this side, I'm not sure. Is this like garland thing around here? But yeah, I quite like it. Will be another Christmas pattern to work on. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is, I have a set of patterns from Satsuma Street. They're her like city patterns. She does like, she calls them like Pretty Little whichever city. So I actually bought these when my son was, either when I was pregnant or just after he was born. He's now 6 and I have finished 1. So yeah, I'm trying to make some progress on that. So I will show you the one that I have finished. So I've finished Pretty Little Tokyo. I wanted to basically do like a travel themed nursery because I had wild dreams of going traveling with the kids, and that so far has not happened because it's expensive. Hooray. But yeah, so I've done Pretty Little Tokyo here. I absolutely love the colors in this. It's so pretty. But however, as you can see, this was when I was in my early days. There is not a lot of edge on this. So I have seen people that instead of having the like cardboard matting, to do with like sewing on fabric on the end. So I think that's what I might do to try and salvage this, because I've already cut out all the fabric, which is kind of a problem when so my next one is Pretty Little New York. I will show you how it should look. That's how it should look. It's very pretty. And I've been working on that. I hadn't really done much of it until recently. So I did, I think, 500 or 600 stitches in December. To be fair, I did, yeah, I think I did 500 in like one night, because it stitches up quite quickly. But again, you can see the edge there is nothing. It terrifies me. So yes, that's what I'm working on. I would really like to get them done sooner rather than later, while the kids are still little. Which my time is running out because they're growing up way too fast. Right, let's see. So the other 2 I have, like I said, I have 4 from Satsuma Street. I also have Pretty Little London, which is this one. And then I have Pretty Little Hong Kong. So that's that one. I kind of wanted to try and get sort of places that like either me or my husband had been to or were from or something. Sadly, Satsuma Street does not have Pretty Little Reykjavik. However, right, so I found what I was looking for. So I wanted a Pretty Little Reykjavik, but Satsuma Street doesn't have it. I did find a similar pattern from, what are they called? Awesome Pattern Studio. They have a Reykjavik pattern, which is this one. Now, I'm thinking of changing some things. I'm not a massive fan of the color scheme. Like the yellows and greens aren't really my thing, so I might change that up a little bit. And I kind of want to add a few things to it, like there's like a mountain that's really prominent on the outskirts of town that you can see basically wherever you are, called Esjan. So I kind of want to see if I can add that into the pattern, and then after I started thinking about adding things, I'm thinking about adding my mom's house. It has a very characteristic look to it, and my kids always talk about when we go to Iceland, we go to Amma's house. So Amma means grandmother in Icelandic. And it's a whole thing of like, we're going to Iceland, we're going to Amma's house. So yeah, I think I will add that to the pattern if I can. I'm not very good at making patterns, but I'm gonna have a try. We'll see how it goes. So the next pieces I want to talk about is the Cricut collection mittens that I saw someone in one of my Facebook groups doing, and I loved them, and I decided I wanted to do a load of them as well. So I have found some of them. They're a bit hard to find, at least in the UK. But I've got a few of the, they're like little leaflets. So I haven't started these yet. But for example, I've got these. So these lovely Christmassy patterns. I've got, there's the, like Christmas Carol, Dickens mittens. There's two of these. I've only got one. I still need to get the other one. And there's also this one, which I think is really cute. It's this little, I think it's like supposed to be like a gingerbread man. There. And then I found a few of them online, which are the ones I've started. So I've started the hot cup of cocoa one, which is this one. And I think I'm only 100 stitches in, because again, that was the challenge. So this is where I'm at with the hot cup of cocoa. And this is 28 count even weave again. And then there's this one, which is the like Santa cookie jar one, which I think it's facing this way because I've not done a lot. There we go, like that. So again, not gotten far, but I'm thinking of keeping going with that. On the 25th, like I mentioned earlier. So, like I mentioned, the way I found out about the Cricut collection is from someone in one of my cross-stitch groups. I think her name is Olena or something like that. She is Ukrainian, I believe, and she has her own website and Etsy store, and she also does mittens kind of in the same style. So I have actually bought some of her, I have bought two. So there's this one, there's the Home for Christmas letter and mitten that will go very well with the other ones. And here's the second set that I've bought from her, are these ones. They're kind of like shop themed. They're very cute. But she has a website, like I mentioned, where or it's more like a blog kind of. But she has some freebies on there. So for example, she has this little freebie, and she has some Nutcracker freebies, which are all stunning. So I'd like to do those as well. They're very cute. Oh, and she has these like North Pole outfit style ones. So yeah, those are really cute. I want to do all of those. I don't know when I'm going to have time to do all of these. We'll see. But yeah, she's the one that got me started on that. Her website is Living on the Rainbow, and her same Etsy site, Etsy shop. The next piece that I have is, I call them my Galaxy Cats. They are from a Etsy shop called Cross Stitch Patterns, but there's only one T in patterns. but this is one of the first patterns I saw on Etsy that I was just like, oh my god, I have to have that one. It's so cool. So, and this is it. That's the full piece. And I'm not very far into it. This is on, I want to say 36 rather than 32 count. But yeah, we're not very far through this one either. But that's where I'm at right there, which is I think this, like, a bit of this cat and then a bit of this flower there. So yeah, this is what I mean about I keep buying dark fabrics and then like high stitch count, and I'm just like shooting myself in the foot. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. I think it'll look really pretty, because you can see on the Etsy listing, you can see some examples of it on dark fabric, and I think it looks really pretty. That one they've added some beading, which I don't know if I'll do, but I think it looks really stunning on the navy fabric. So we'll see. We'll see. So the next pattern we have is the Gay Agenda, which makes me laugh because it's like be gay, Taco Tuesday, be gay, be super gay on Saturday, and brunch gay on Sunday. So this is for my brother, who is part of the LGBTQ+ community, and I show him cross-stitch stuff all the time, and I sort of sent this to him to gauge his opinion, and he did find it hilarious, so I'm going to make it for him. I'm not very far through. I did kind of have a bit of a crisis a while back of whether I wanted to do 2 or 3 over 1. So this is what it looks like. It's on black, but I'm kind of, so these two here, down here, are in, these are 3 over 1, whereas this is 2 over 1. I wasn't sure if like there was going to be too much black shining through, but I think looking at it now, because I haven't touched it for months because I just couldn't decide what to do with it, but looking at it now, I think 2 over 1 is going to be fine. So yeah, but as you may have noticed here, the Gay Agenda lettering is in black, which obviously isn't going to work on black on black. So I got some variegated floss, which is going to be the first time I'll work with variegated floss. I think this is Threadworks. I'm not sure though. I may have to look it up. I'll look it up later. But here's the thread. It's in like a rainbow color. So wish me luck. We'll see how it goes. But I think it will look really cool. And I'm thinking about maybe turning it into a cushion and having some like rainbow fabric on the back. Oh, it is Threadworks. I've just seen that. Threadworks. It is Threadworks. Cool. So the last piece that I'm going to talk about in terms of sort of WIPs, because I'm about to start this one, is the Legend of Zelda stained glass piece. I would call this a BAP, a big ass piece. It is 400 by 700 stitches, which turns into, I think, about 200,000 stitches. It's a lot. So I've decided to get easy count fabric in 25 count. So this has just arrived. I got the threads for it when I had that big haul back in June, and my brother brought it over. So one thing I am debating about is whether I want to do tent stitch on this, because it's so big. And I've seen some other people do it, like I think Crafty Gaming Jamie like exclusively does 10 stitch. She seems to like that, so I thought maybe I'll give it a try on this project and see how it goes, because I feel like otherwise I'm never going to finish it. It's just so big. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I was going to try and like get on my thread started. Where is it? It's not that one, sorry. Someone in my local stitchy group showed me this idea. Putting thread on just these cheap little keychain things. But this took me like an evening to do, and it's only like 10 threads, so I might just do it as I go. It's going to take forever to do. So some of you will recognize this kit that I went through great lengths to get. This is Aurora. She's a Dimensions Gold kit that is no longer in print. I had to order this from a shop in the Netherlands that had to then be sent to Sweden to my aunt, who then was able to send it on to me. And it was not cheap either, but she's just so gorgeous. I first saw Stitching Moon had gotten this kit, and I fell in love as soon as I saw it. And then a while after that, and it felt kind of like meant to be or something, I started watching Books and Stitches, and this is one of her oldest kits. She's been working on this for a long time, and she's so close to being finished. I was watching her latest Flosstube video, and she's so close. So close. She's definitely going to finish it this year. I, however, have not started it. I am converting it. I'm converting the pattern in WinStitch so that I can then upload it into Cross Stitch Saga, because there's lots of like backstitch and couching and all sorts that other like markup won't capture that, so I'd rather have it on Saga, but it is a bit of a pain to try and convert it. So and tragically I started doing it, I was maybe about a third to, yeah, I wasn't quite at halfway through, and the file just disappeared. I still have, to this day, I do not know what happened to the file. It just disappeared from my computer. So I'd start over again. But I have, in the pattern, I've done all the like background, which is all like half stitches. I think I've done most of the back of the bear. I've done a good portion, maybe about half of the front of the bear. And same with the dress, is probably about halfway done. But yeah, there's a lot of stitches in there. And then I need to add in all the like back stitches and French knots and everything. So yes, I want to get started on this one at some point this year. We'll see when that happens, maybe someday, I don't know. Right, and when my auntie sent me those patterns, she also sent me some old ones that so my great aunt had given her like way back in the day, and these are some stunning stunning patterns. So there's the, hang on, it's that, yeah. So there's 3 kind of in a set together. So there's the Enchanted Sleigh, and then there's this one that is Noble Companions, which is this one and this one. And these are all like, I think this was sold in like 91. These are old. But yeah, those 2 come together. And then there's this one, which I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure it's my style. The sort of like country Santa, something or other. But it was still quite happy to have it. So one more pattern that I almost forgot about is also from Stitching Book Club. This was like limited edition because they were I think they were only given permission to do like a certain amount. But it's the Chronicles of Narnia. And it was a sale, but I did not keep up with it. So that's what the full pattern looks like. And this was when I was first going into the rabbit hole. And I think the called for fabric was like opalescent or something. And I got very confused and I bought this like opal pet, like it's colored, and I don't really think it goes. So I think I'm going to like frog it and use the fabric for something else. But then I want like the white sparkly opalescent Ada, not opal Ada. And I mean, I didn't get very, this was one of the first times I tried, I think it may have been the first time I tried gridding, and I'm never doing it again. But that's how far I got, not very far. So yeah, I think I'll frog it started again. And I'm not quite sure about the pattern because I really like this bit. Like I love the gradient in that, and I quite like this bit, but then I'm not wild about the actual picture. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that part or whether I want to put something different in there. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see how that goes. But that's one of the things I have. And then I a while ago decided I wanted to try embroidery as well. So I got a little beginner's embroidery kit. I didn't get very far with it. Because it's very different, isn't it? Doing the stitching. But yeah, that's where I am with that. But we'll see. I might go back to that at some point. I'm bored, but I just have so many patterns and stuff now that I just haven't really looked at it. And then I was going to show you, I think it was the last time we were in, maybe it was a while ago. Anyway, I have some patterns and kits that my mom gave me from like the 90s. So, for example, we've got this kit, which was actually, my mom was going to make this for my brother's nursery. And he is now, he's going to be 25 this year. So yeah, but I think she like started it and then I like begged her to let me do it. So I think I've done some of this and she's done some of this. But yeah, this is when I was like a preteen. Because there's like an almost 14-year age gap between me and my younger brother. Yeah. But this is where we got with that. There's somewhere in here where I did a really weird thing where I'd done the wrong thing, and instead of frogging it, I just decided, what is going on there? I just decided that I was going to stitch over it and that would be fine. Can I find where it is? I remember doing it. Yeah, there it is. Found it. Is this. I don't know what that one stitch is there, but apparently it was wrong, and I said instead of like frogging the few stitches there that would be needed to frog. Oh yes, the beak of the dove by the looks of it. But instead of frogging the like one little square, I decided, oh, just stitch over it. Like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that never got finished, needless to say. Maybe someday I'll finish it. We'll see. I also have this kit from when I was a preteen. I have several kits in here. This one that I almost finished. I do kind of want to finish this one because I do really like it. It's a Friends Make Life Perfect. And you can see I've done like the back stitching in this one. And in that, and I just need to finish that and the back stitching in this one. I think I've done all the crosses. No, I haven't. I think this is actually dirty. I don't think I had very clean hands when I was doing this. But yeah, I think I still have the pattern in here, so I could potentially finish it someday, but we'll see. Or maybe I'll just restart it. Let's see. And then another pattern that I always wanted to do, although I kind of want to do the colors differently, because I've just spent 20 minutes, you know, down a rabbit hole trying to figure out what the actual finished pattern will look like, because I only have like the actual pattern, not the finished thing, because it's from the 90s. It's been like scribbled on and everything. I'm not going to show the other side where the actual pattern is, but like, yeah. It's been through a bit of a beating, the poor thing. But it is this one, this little cute cat thing. So it says, called Perfect Christmas. But looking at the colors in this, like, I'm not wild about the kind of bright red and gray. I might go for a more kind of wine red style. I'd be more up for that. But I remember actually being absolutely obsessed with this pattern when I was a kid. So I do want to do that at some point. Here's also a pattern that I did as a kid. I made this for my grandmother like 20 years ago. And I'm actually quite impressed I did most of this. I think my auntie in Sweden, she ended up doing the border because it was like just before Christmas and I was running out of time. But I did this whole patchwork Santa for my gran. So I'm quite proud of that one. Right, so I think that's every like physical thing I have. I thought I'd now go through the mountain of patterns that I've gotten off of Etsy. At least the ones that I haven't already mentioned. So I bought these like baby announcement type things. I do have it somewhere because I did start it, but I'm just not really wild about it anymore. I don't know if I'm ever going to do them. I bought them in like versions so you can have 1, 2, and 3 kids, so that you can show like the second one, you have like 2 baby birds up in there, whereas like the first one is just 1, then 2. And I did buy 3 in case we had 3 kids. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. The next patterns I've bought, and I have done these actually, they were a gift to my brother. They were Skyrim inspired. I don't think these are available anymore. So I've got the We Know from the Dark Brotherhood. And then Khajiit has wares if you have coin. So yeah, I finished those 2021, I think. I think I've talked about them on here before. I'll see if I can stick some pictures up here. I kind of bought these on a whim. This was early days when I was going down the Etsy rabbit hole. I'm not that enamored with them anymore. I don't know if I'll ever do them, but I do have them. Here's the 3 set. Lord of the Rings one that I mentioned. So there's the Mordor, there's the Shire that I'm going to start this month, and there's the Rivendell one. So this is from Etsy's shop, Stitch Aura. She has these like fantasy treetop kind of patterns. They're really pretty. I think she's Ukrainian or possibly Russian. Just from the style, like I kind of find that the sort of Eastern European artists have a certain style to them, and I kind of feel like this is that sort of style. There's lots of half stitches, lots of back stitching, but it is like really effective. So I've got that one, and she has several other ones that I want to do. But as always, there's just so many patterns out there that I want to do. I also bought this one probably a year ago. It's a pattern to go on the bottom of a tree skirt. I don't know how I'm going to do this because it doesn't actually have any details on how to do it. So if anyone has any advice on how, like, do I just buy a fabric tree skirt and then I can maybe use dissolvable Aida or something? I don't know. If anyone can, yeah, give me any advice, I would love that. And then I can see if I can do that because it is cute. And then I have several from Stitchrovia or Emma Condon. She has some really stunning patterns. So I have this one, the Christmas pudding, very British. I think Emma Condon's British, I'm pretty sure. But I've got that one. And then I've got A Journey of 1,000 Miles Begins with a Single Step. I've got this, what does it say? Open Your Heart to New Adventures. And Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost, which I would really like to do this one with the city patterns I have for the kids. So that should be quite nice. And then I have from the Little Stitchery, these like watercolor animal patterns. Sadly, the Little Stitchery doesn't seem to be open anymore. The shop just seems to have closed down, and there were several other patterns that I wanted to buy, but she seems to be gone. So yeah, these are the ones I have. So there's a little bunny, a cat, zebra, orangutan, elephant, a meerkat, lion. Wait, hang on. No, that was a cheetah, and that one's a lion. But like, I wanted to get a tiger. I think there were some other ones that I wanted as well. They were really cute. That I didn't get a chance to buy, which is always my fear with Etsy shops, is that these things just disappear and they're gone. I'll never see them again. This one I also got from the Cross Stitch Patterns with 1T. And I suspect this one is also an East European designer, but it's like a winter scene with houses. It's really pretty. I really like that one. And then I have one that I'm planning to do for my mom. It's this flower one. This is from Patterns by S.A. Stitch. She has lots of patterns that I really want. But I was flicking through stuff and showed my mom this pattern, and she was like, yes, please, that one. So I shall be doing that at some point. And then I've got these ones from the Stitch Patterns, which are like vehicles for my son because he loves construction vehicles. It's on my plan. I've kitted out this one, the excavator, for him. So hopefully I can start on that soon. And this one from Cross Stitch TR. It's this cute little cat in the snow. Very cute. Also from Cross Stitch TR is this Lily of the Valley pattern. Very pretty. But probably not very high on my list of things to do. There's just too many patterns out there that I want to do. Then I've got this one from Light Unicorn Designs, which is this one, this Japanese landscape. I I think kind of what I know now is that I'm not convinced this is a very reputable designer. It's very cheap pattern, but I didn't know better at the time, so it is what it is. I've got this pattern also from Mia Stitch. It's this like cat silhouette watercolor style pattern. Very pretty, and as you may have noticed, I love cats. So I've got a couple patterns from Needleminder Layer. She does these like nerdy ones. So I've got this one from Final Fantasy VII. So you can see Cloud and Tifa there in the 7th Heaven bar, which is very cool. I might have to drop that in and out because I've just been buying kind of like one here and there from her. Then I've got this VV pattern from Final Fantasy IX. It's from Angel Wolf Boutique. And I actually saw Minigame Stitcher. She did this pattern, and it looks really good when you're done with it. Apparently it's confetti hell, but the end result is very good, apparently. Well, from what I could see of hers. So that's the VV pattern. I'll probably regret trying it, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. And then Brooks Books has a series of she's used strategic names for it, but they're essentially Disney princess dresses, but in like sort of more stylized. So I've got this one from, it's Elsa from Frozen. But as you can see, it's not like actually the Elsa dress, but you can see how it's supposed to be similar. And I actually have, I think, all the other dresses, but I'll get to that towards the end. Here's another from Needleminder Layer. This is also Final Fantasy VII. It is Aerith and Red 13. I bought this pattern from Artsy Fartsy Stitches. I have a feeling that it's been run through just like a pattern website, but I just loved the colors in it. It was really pretty, so I thought I'd give it a try. And then here's another from Needleminder Layer, this time from Final Fantasy VIII. This is Renoa with her limit break wings. Right, so we are now on to, so for Christmas, I ended up getting just over £100 worth of Etsy vouchers, and so I thought I'd show you what I spent it on. So first of all, I bought the rest of the Brooks Books princess dresses. So they are here. So we've got Jasmine, Mulan, Anna, Belle, Ariel, Aurora, what's her face from Tangled, and then Tiana, Snow White, and Cinderella. I think that's all of them. Yep. So I've got all of those, and also Pinky the Pink has done some additions that you can download as freebies on her website. So she's made like almost like a dressmaker stand, because she didn't like how they were kind of free floating, and I think it looks really good that way, so I might do that. And then I bought, hang on. So there is a Russian artist, I think her name is Elisa Oknias. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But she does some really stunning patterns, and her patterns are on Etsy under a different shop name, I'm guessing because she's Russian. But so I've got this Yule Cat one. That's very pretty. And I like it because it's like, I don't know if this was like deliberate, but like we have in Iceland, one of our like folklore things is the Christmas cat, which is a terrifying giant cat that comes and eats you if you haven't gotten any clothes for Christmas. Which, yeah, is terrifying as a child. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, so I really wanted that one. And then I also got this mushroom one. It's kind of psychedelic. I love the colors. There's a lot of backstitch in there, and French knots and stuff. It is very pretty. And the last one from her, right, this is the last one I bought from her, which is this florarium pattern. I just love it. I love the style, love the colors. I love it. And then the last thing I bought with my Etsy vouchers was Gamer Nouveau from Medusa Dollmaker. I'd been wanting to get it from Gecko Rouge for ages, the kit, but sadly, as many of you may know, may be aware, Medusa Dollmaker is no longer with Gecko Rouge. So she's started her own Etsy shop. I am a little bit worried about the quality of it because I think she is just running it through a pattern maker. Because she apparently, I saw this from Crafty Gaming Jamie, who also has this pattern, in that I think originally what she uploaded only had like 36 different colors and it was a bit blocky. But she's now done a version that is, I think, 98 colors or something like that, which I think is comparable to the Gecko Rouge chart. I have a feeling it's not going to be like, I know Gecko Rouge puts a lot of effort into like picking out colors and everything, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try it because I've wanted this pattern for ages and sadly it's not available anymore at Gecko Rouge. So, but this is the Gamer Nouveau pattern. I do love the artwork. It's absolutely stunning. So yeah, Medusa Dollmaker, sorry, I didn't specify. Medusa Dollmaker is the artist, and she had been working with Gecko Rouge, but now she's just uploading her own stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Hi guys, just a little interjection here. So today is Monday, the 15th of January. So it's been a while since I filmed the main bulk of this. Unfortunately, after I filmed that illness that I had went downhill to the point that I was admitted to hospital over the weekend. Basically, my tonsils got so inflamed that I couldn't eat. I didn't eat for 3 days. And I think on Friday I had less than a liter of fluids, so I was admitted to hospital. They gave me a bunch of IV medication and I feel a lot better. I can actually talk now. I couldn't talk on Friday because it was just so painful. But the main reason, I was trying to do some editing this morning and then I realized I'd forgotten to film a few bits, so I thought I'd just do that now. So I forgot to show you the main bulk of the Make It Pink, Pink the Pink patterns. So this is the first one I bought. So this is technically the Zelda pattern. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a bit more. So you can see this is the like base Zelda pattern, which I am planning on doing at some point. There you go. But then she has it in like different color versions for, so you have like blue Zelda. I'm trying to make sure that you guys can actually see this. And there's the Midna one. Like I mentioned, there's been a background added to this by someone else. There's Hilda, which is in some of the games. She in A Link to the Past, I think. It's one of the games that I haven't played. Is that all I think that's all of them. So, and then we also have, oh, come on. Why are you being stupid? There we go. So we also have Link. There's sort of standard green Link. And we also have him in a blue version. So like he's blue in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So she did also have a Mifa pattern. I can't seem to find it on her website at the moment, but I'll stick a picture up here of it. So Mifa is one of the characters from Breath of the Wild, and she's got a very pretty pattern as well. So I also have some Zelda patterns, or I have 2 Zelda patterns from Abby Sue Designs. She had a series of not just Zelda, but loads of like popular characters, Disney and stuff like that, that were in a very stylized form, which I quite liked. Unfortunately, I think she's taken this off her website now. She made a post on Instagram at the start of the year that she was going to be removing a load of copyright stuff off her website. So sadly, this is not available anymore. But here is her version of Zelda. So you can see how it's like stylized, like there's no face and it's all kind of like pixelated and everything. And they were all like she had all the Disney princesses and everything. But yeah, like I said, they're not available anymore. And I also have her Link. So Link is like that. They're quite pretty. So it's a bit sad that they're gone. So I do have a couple of, or a few Hades. I think I have 3, yeah. And they're all cats, surprise, surprise. They're all Lisa Parker artwork that's been converted or charted by Hade. So first one I've got is called Absinthe. So that's that one. Got the black cat there with the absinthe and the little green fairy. Love that. And then I also have the Witching Hour, which is this one. Like I said, another black cat. I can't remember if I mentioned, but when I was younger, we had a black cat. Her name was Misla, which means mousy in Icelandic. Because she was the runt of the litter. She was very small when we got her. She sadly passed away, but she was an old lady by then. She was a very, very sweet cat. And I miss her a lot, so I'm definitely, like, I'm an animal person, but I am definitely, you know, cats over everything else. But to be honest, if given my own choice, I would have, you know, a zoo, basically. And then lastly, I have a brush with magic, and I don't think I mentioned earlier, but basically I've got these all in max color, which might be a mistake. We'll see. But yeah, that would be this one. So yeah, lovely black cats. I'm thinking I might try getting CXC for these, just to try and cut down on the price of all the floss. I've never tried CXC, but I've heard people talking about it and that they're quite good actually, and cheaper. So I think I'll try that with the Hades, and we'll see how it goes. I was wondering, because now that I've got an iPad, I can actually use that for
my app so that I can track what I'm stitching, which means my phone is free to do other things. So I was wondering if people would be interested in if I would do a stitch with me or something like that, because I've never been able to do that because I've always used my phone for apps for tracking. So yeah, I thought maybe if people are interested, I might film something like that, but let me know what you think. Yeah. I also forgot to mention a Flosstuber, Lunar Witch Stitchery. They've been quite busy moving house. They bought a house recently. Very happy for them. Yay. And so she hasn't been filming very much, understandably. But I was very excited to see, I think it was start of January rather than end of December. It might have been end of December. I'm not quite sure. But I watched her WIP parade. That was lovely, getting to see all the stuff that she's been doing. But yeah, definitely go check her out. She's a lovely YouTuber. I always enjoy watching her videos. So I think that's all the patterns that I have. What other things was going to? Oh, WIP Go. I'm going to try and do WIP Go this year. So I've made a board. I'll stick it up here. Although I am kind of thinking of changing it because I've realized there's patterns that, you know, I've shown today that aren't on this board that are WIPs, and I'd like to get them on there, so I might change things around, but at least at the moment, this is what I've got on there, and this is why I will be starting the Shire pattern, because that's what got called for January on my board. So for January it was called 9 and 22, and they're both the Shire pattern. So, but I haven't got like massive prompts on there. I've literally just said that for each square. Excuse me. I need to work on it 2 days each month, and I put just a minimum of 100. Oh, excuse me. What is going on? So I've put just like a minimum of 100 crosses a day. Work on it. Each square will be work on it 2 days a month, and that I literally only need to work, you know, 4 days per month on WIP Go, and that I feel like gives me flexibility to like work on other stuff I want to do, like because I've got other games that I'm in. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with that. And then I was gonna talk about the Flosstubers I've been watching. So as I mentioned, Books and Stitches, she's like my favorite Flosstuber. As soon as like any of her videos are out, I will watch it. I love seeing her progress. Love seeing her progress on Aurora, obviously, but she also has some other really stunning ones. Like she has a massive Disney one, and she's making really good I mean, it'll still take her years to do it, but like she's making really good progress on it. Like she did a WIP parade recently, and you could see the difference in what she had done this year. So that was quite impressive. And she has what's it called? Soda Stitch. She has like she's taken I think 9 different patterns from Soda Stitch, and they're all like fairy tale ones. And she's made it into one big massive pattern, and I love that one. That one's really cool. So yeah, go watch Books and Stitches. Also Crafty Gaming Jamie, I was watching her Flossmas. I didn't quite manage to watch all of her Flossmas just because it got close to Christmas and things were crazy and I didn't have time to watch. But I watched most of her Flossmas, and I really enjoyed it. I liked how she had like she had her kids make an advent calendar. I think it was her kids, or maybe her kids and her husband, to make like an advent calendar-esque of like what pattern she should work on. So like every day she gave them like a list of patterns that she had, and then they had to like organize it into an advent calendar, and so then she would just draw whichever was the one that that day that she worked on. And she has lots of other things she works on. Like she has the 12 Days of Christmas Movies pattern. That one's really cool because it's a bit customizable. I might do that one at some point, but we'll see. I have too many patterns anyway. We've been through this. I have too many patterns. I don't need to add to it. I also watched Stitchy Rin's Flossmas. That was quite enjoyable. Hers wasn't so much stitchy. It was more, she had various she had various advent calendars. So there was like a tea one, I think she had like a jam one, there was a popcorn one or snack one or something or other like that, and she went through all of those. And then she did I think most days at least she had like, sorry, my phone's giving me troubles, it's almost out of battery, I need to finish this up quickly. She did show like previous like Christmas patterns that she'd like finished, so she showed generally I think off one a day of Christmas patterns that she'd done, so that was quite nice. Oh yes, and then I started watching the Brunner Stitcher. He's fairly new, but he started I think just like in November or something, so he has a few Flosstubes up, but I quite like his patterns. And like he's done t-shirts to go running in, because I think he was or is doing like a Disney themed run or something, or they're running in Disney World or something like that, I think. But he's stitched like Disney characters on t-shirts for him and his mum, which I think is really cute. And there was, I think he also showed off, he'd done like a sweater that he'd done some, I can't remember now what the pattern was, but he did something, and I just looked at it and I thought that's a really good idea, like stitching on clothes, just because there's only so many like wall hangings you can do and stuff. I think I might try that at some point. So yeah, those are the Flosstubers I watched in December. Obviously there's so many Flosstubers out there, can't get around to watching them all, sadly. But yeah, so I think that's everything I want to talk about. I've shown you everything. I don't know when I'm going to actually get this out, because it is the 5th of January now. I started filming on the 3rd. That was that first few bits. But I think it's going to take me a while to edit this, so we'll see when I manage to get this out. But if you've made it this far, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, joining in. I'd love if you could comment. You know, I love having conversation about what we're doing. And yeah, hopefully see you next month. Bye.